howdy, all you collector car fans out there. This is Jason, the owner and founder of Southern Bush Motorsports, and yes, sirree, I got a treat for you today. You are looking at what you think you're looking at. If you're a diehard muscle car fan, especially a Mopar person, that is a 1967 HEMI GTX convertible. It's the only one known to exist with those options. Bucket seat console, automatic on the column. I kid you not. You might want to pause and take a look at these pictures. You got the console right there in between the two bucket seats, and it's automatic on the column. Young man was in Vietnam. His brother sent him a brochure. He ordered this car. I'm showing the pictures twice because I only have three. He ordered the car when he came back from Vietnam. He raced around the town for the summertime, got into trouble. The judge said, sell the car to your brother or I'll put you in jail. So he sold the car to his brother, and his brother never moved it. I ended up finding it. It changed my life, changed everything I did. It was in the beginning of my business. It was sitting underneath an overhead shelter. But that is the missing car. That's also the one that they made the movie Joe Dirt about. But this is the 67 HEMI GTX convertible. Everybody was wondering where it was. There it is. Continuing on in this area, that is a 70 GTX. That 67 HEMI GTX convertible, I had that listed for about an hour, and a guy was flying out from another part of the country, and he just said, yep, that's what I've been looking for all these years. I'll take it. This GTX was finished. The guy that restored it was a little upset because he had finished it about 2 days before, and I had a guy flying in, bought it up right away. Cool car, all numbers matching. Now this area where all these cars were, I ended up going up there to try to find a Superbird, and I ended up staying up there for many months. And it was a long trip. There's a really early, I think that was early Barracuda, but look at it. Talk about a survivor. Car was completely untouched, ran and drove perfect, super solid, no rust. Love this car. I can't remember if I bought this one. I know I bought a bunch of cars on the property. I ended up buying him completely out, all of his cars, all of his parts and everything. He just said, you know, you took me this far, you sold all my stuff, you might as well just buy me out. He cut me a deal, and that was it. I bought that green car right there. That thing was fun to drive around. Talk about a grocery getter. It was a 318 car, but it was fun, and it could burn some rubber. Those 318s got some power, you know. They can really burn some rubber. It's the car that was hiding in a trailer. Yes, that would be a 446 back air grabber Roadrunner. And that was a completely numbers matching car. It was beautifully restored. There wasn't a thing missing off that car. It was just magnificent. I think it was in the trailer because he was going to take it to a show, and I believe I ended up selling it. Now that was a 69 Roadrunner that I found. Now that went to a fellow that was a bus driver at the World Trade Center, and you know, God bless the guy. That was a rough life. The RT that was just sitting underneath a shelter there. This ended up just being a really weird long trip. I ended up buying everything. That was a 69. I believe that was an air grabber Roadrunner. Really cool car. He had just finished that. Well, look at all the cars in the background. He had just finished that car. I can't remember if that one was numbers matching or not. You can tell it's not all right underneath the hood there, that's for sure. Newer battery, newer air cleaner, but boy, that was a sweet car. Look at that. Look at that interior. It's all brand new, all nicely done. This old fella that restored these cars, he sure as heck knew what he was doing. He really did a good job, and that right there is the first Charger I ever found. It was a 69 Charger. It was on an old cotton plantation. It was the first Charger I ever found. I bought it and I ended up bringing it back with me. That right there was a buried 70 triple black Cuda 446 back, and the block was in the trunk. That was a 70 Challenger that a tree had fallen on out in this forest. These next two pictures are kind of cool because these cars were all found in a swamp. Very scary swamp, by the way. There's lift-off hood cars like I'd never seen before. Russ, I'll give you a quick shout-out. Thanks for letting me come onto your property, Russ. Fella had a property out there. He didn't know all these cars were even stuck out there. I guess his uncle had done it. He inherited the property, and boom, there they are. This was one scary place. You're talking alligators, rattlesnakes, black widow spiders. That's a 70 Charger RT right there. Missing a fender, but everything else was there. But I literally had to build a road to get these cars out, and that really sucked. It cost a lot of money. That's a 68 RT Charger right there. Cars were pretty solid, too. I really wanted to throw in a bunch of different cars on this because I wanted to finally surfaced with that 67 HEMI GTX convertible. It was me that found it. That's a GTX 440 car. I don't know, it was a 4-speed bucket seat car, if I remember right. A little rough, but everything was still there. The 70 Charger, everything was there. Cars were solid too. They'd been in this for us for a long time. Since the late 70s, early 80s, they'd been sitting in there. This was a 69, I think this was a 69 426 HEMI Super B that had just finished restoration. Again, the guy was a little upset because he had literally just finished the car, and I had it sold within a day of being up there. But the car was beautiful. It was all numbers matching. And you want to just talk about a whale car. God, that car was beautiful. So beautiful and so nicely done. And I also get a lot of flack from, when the muscle car market, when I got started, the prices were really low, but I knew what people would pay for cars, and I knew what the value of the car was, and I knew what the market could handle. And yes, I'm mostly responsible for the one that drove all the car prices up, but I was putting out cars that nobody had ever seen. They didn't even know that they were out there, so don't really got an excuse for it, but I got some pretty cool cars out of the deal. Look at that air grabber setup. 426 HEMI picture coming up soon, I'm pretty sure. God, that was such a cool car. Yeah, there you go. Never seen one before under the hood. That's it right there. No, it was older. I believe that was an older restoration. Oh God, look at that motor. Just being in that car would have been so cool. That's the craziest thing about it is all these cars that I sold. I bought some of the rarest muscle cars in the world. And yeah, that pistol grip car right there. No, it wouldn't have been pistol grip to 69, but it was a manual shift car, a 4-speed car. I never drove these things. I never really got a chance to drive them. I would find them and sell them so quick. I bought a couple 6-cylinder cars and some, 340 darts and stuff like that and drove them around. Or, I never really drove any of these cars because it wasn't about me. It was about getting these cars out of hiding, out of the swamps, out of the deserts. This was a really cool car, the Chevrolet. This was completely untouched. I hope I included a bunch of pictures because this guy, we pulled this literally out of the side of his building, and this guy raised old coon dogs. He was an old towing business. He had an old gas pump out in front of his place. I brought that car out of its hiding place, cleaned it up a little bit before I took some pictures because there was weeds and crap all over it. You want to talk about an original untouched Chevrolet? That's it. That car hadn't been touched one bit. Everything on it was all original. The paint was original, but you get that Carolina sun on it and it just burns the heck out of that paint. Look at the interior on that. I don't know if Chevrolet actually did that, those kind of beaded seats like that, I'm not sure, but just completely untouched car. Look at all those gauges there, and it was a manual shift car. Look at that shifter. I don't know if they did that with manual shift. That weird shifter looks weird for a manual shift, but there's the pedals. Yeah, I guess that's the way they did it. This car was a quick sell. It wasn't on my site. Actually, I think I put this one on eBay. Yeah, that's the way. That's the original interior. I put this thing on eBay and it was gone. Like it got bought way the first or second day. But that was the deal. That was my goal, my dream, was to find these cars and get them out to the people that could do something with them instead of the hiding places that they were in. That's all it was about for me. I designed a mapping system so it would leave a trail behind me. I wouldn't go to the same place. I didn't look for the car somebody put out someone in their front yard so everybody could stop and ask them about it. I didn't bother with those cars because they were a waste of time. I'm looking at old microfiche newspaper ads and stories and stuff. Johnny drove a 69 HEMI Charger off the bridge. Well, guess what? In 69, they left that car in the water, and I went down there to get it. And that's how I found a lot of the cars. Then word of mouth started happening really quick. Probably 85% of my business was word of mouth because I brought cash. I didn't argue about prices. If your price was too high, I would just say, I can't do anything with it. It's too high. That looks like somebody switched that with an automatic. So that transmission couldn't be numbers matching. And they just, yeah, that's what they did. That's why that clutch pedal's on the floor. Is they put an automatic transmission in it and use same pedal setup. Look at the mileage on that. I think this is 38,000. That'd be a lot of work to stick an automatic in it, just keep everything else original. But that looks like what they did. Yeah, that's why that clutch pedal's sitting on the ground. Must have got blown out of the clutch or something. He decided to just drive it as an automatic. Oh, I guess that's the way it is. Got the RPM gauge there. Oh, it's cool, man. There was nothing missing off that car. It's really cool to see a car like that come out of this building. Well, thanks for coming by and checking out our story of Southernmost Motorsports. And don't forget to like and subscribe.